They refer to each other as that team across the river. Anytime Ayersville and Tinora get set to go square off against each other, it doesn't matter if it's the football field, the basketball court, or just playing tiddlywinks. It is an intense rivalry. It is a healthy rivalry, but make no doubt about it, it's one that they want to hold over the opposition as far as bragging rights are concerned for at least another year. We welcome you aboard. DCTV Sports is on the air with the Ayersville Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show. Ayersville Chevrolet Cadillac, located on North Clinton Street in downtown Defiance, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Check out their great selection of new and used vehicles in person on their lot or online at drivebobestel.com. Brent Balbinot alongside Scoop Miller as the Ayersville Pilots welcoming the Tinora Rams. The Pilots 8-6 overall, 2-2 in Green Meadows Conference play. They enter tonight on a modest 2-game win streak. On the flip side, the Rams, not quite the team they were a year ago when they went 17-5 and had a share of the GMC title. They are 6-10 entering tonight's contest, but have the same 2-2 conference record as their counterparts. They have been struggling, though, coming in losers of 4 of their last 5. They did get on the winning track just 6 days ago with a 74-44 convincing victory versus Hilltop. What do they say in rivalry games? Throw the records out the window. Scoop, I really get the feeling that's going to be the case here tonight. All bets are off.
Well, you're right. You know, the river rivalry, as they say, has really been a good one. You know, you look back in past history, the last 10 times these teams have met, each team has won 5. Half of those games been decided by 1 or 2 possessions. And the fact that Coach Lymanstall 2-2 versus their counterparts, and of course on the other side, Coach Wolfham 3-3 against Tinora. So everything's even. The visiting team has won the last 2 games here. Something's going to give here tonight.
Well, and again, you're going to have 2 very diametrically different styles of play. Ayersville wants a track meet. They want to get up and down the court. They want to make Tinora uncomfortable, and they would be just fine if they could score most of their offense in the fast break this evening. On the flip side, that is the antithesis of what Tinora wants to do. They want a slow-paced, half-court game. I joked with Coach Chris Lymanstall. He says the salsa needs to be mild tonight. If they get into a run-and-gun type of game, this is going to get out of hand in a hurry.
Well, you're right, and that's why I think rebound is going to be so important for Tinora tonight, because if they don't board it, that's going to give Ayersville a chance to grab those rebounds and get out and run, get in that transition, control the tempo. So, again, it's going to come down to little things and who can impose their will on the other.
Board work, but also for Tinora, taking care of the basketball. They average almost 14 giveaways a game. They didn't have the stat on the stat sheet that the coaching staff sent us, but I asked Coach Lymanstall, I said, any idea roughly how many of those turnovers are actually leading to points at the other end? And he said over 50. So you take a look at that. 14 turnovers, 7 roughly per game, leading to scoring by the opposition. That's almost like spotting the opposition 14 points before you tip things off. He said, we've got to take care of the basketball tonight.
Well, you're right, and the fact they've had a lot of tight games this season could play into that. And Tinora, a team comes in scoring just over 41 points a game, defensively giving up about 44 points a game. So just a couple of those possessions eliminated could be the difference between a W and an L.
On the flip side, how do you stop? No, more specifically, how do you slow down the big-time tandem of Dane Ewers and Jeremiah Peak? The 2 leading scorers, it's no secret that they are going to get the majority of the touches, and yet the opposition really hasn't found a way to slow them down yet this season. Ewers, just the sophomore, averaging nearly 21 points per game. Peak also very impressive at nearly 17 points per game. How do you pick your poison?
Well, you're right, and you hit the nail on the head. You're not going to shut those guys down. You have to make them work for everything and maybe try to contain a little bit, because even with all the heavy defenses and special defenses they've seen this season, they still are combining for almost 40 points a night together. So you almost feel like you hold those 2 under 40 you really accomplished something.
They're also playing at the other end of the court, though, Scoop, and I'm going to break this one down for you because the last time we have had a chance to do an Ayersville boys game, it was before Christmas, back on the 19th at Fairview, which was one of the most intense high school games I have seen in over a decade. Fairview ended up winning 71-56 on a night where all their starters took care of 100% of the scoring, with the exception of Jackson Stambaugh, who had 9 points on the evening, every starter in double figures. But it was the defense. You hold Jim Panico's club to under 60 points. It's their only loss in conference play. They're 3-1, but coming into that game, the defensive average for Ayersville was 62 points. Post Fairview, they're only giving up 54 points. Big difference.
Oh, you're right. And I thought that was really a statement game that we saw over at the reservation, where the Apaches suffered a rare home loss and their only GMC loss, as you mentioned. So I think that gave maybe Ayersville some confidence. Ayersville kind of coming in on a high note. They can equal their largest winning streak of the season if they can get the third consecutive win here tonight. But again, in the GMC, all bets are off. You have to come to play, or it's going to be a long night.
We anticipate it. Just, if nothing else, tradition demands both these teams respect, and we have seen a lot of sleeping dogs awake when it comes to Tinora versus Ayersville. What we're going to do is take a quick timeout. We've got about 90 seconds left to go in the JV contest here. Tinora way out in front in this one, up 38-20. The varsity squads, both in their respective tunnels, they are itching to get out on the court and start their warm-ups, and they're about 1 minute and 20 seconds away from doing so. What we're going to do is take a quick timeout. When we come back, we will have your starting lineups and your keys to the game. Don't you go anywhere. You're watching the Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show on DCTV Sports.
Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestill.com. For the past 70 years, Midwest Community Federal Credit Union has been your financial partner, helping you achieve your dreams and secure your future. Midwest Community Federal Credit Union, with locations in Defiance, Bryan, and Napoleon. Find out more at midwestcommunity.org.
Firm, we understand how overwhelming life can be after being seriously injured in a car accident. With over 50 years of experience, Arthur Law Firm has a track record of getting the results you deserve. When you don't know where to turn, get answers with Arthur. Call up.
Back at the hangar, that's a great shot from our camera just off the stage area where the pep band sets up. So venue seats about 1,500. They are expecting, once the JV game ends, to open up those doors just underneath the hangar there and bring out the auxiliary seating. Those bleachers normally act as the student body section, but Scoop, I get the feeling they're going to need them for more than just the students tonight.
Well, they are. You know, normally I park on the north side of school and I come in, and it was completely full, so I thought, well, I'll just get a good spot in the back. No such doing. I had to park out by the water tower. So
no way.
One of the last few spots available. So this ought to be a great atmosphere here tonight, and it should, because this has been a great rivalry that goes back a long, long time.
Out by the water tower. That's like Narnia for folks that don't understand the geography here at Ayersville. As Tinora putting the finishing touches on what looks like it will end up being a 20-plus point victory. Let's go ahead and take a look at the starting lineups here this evening for the varsity. And let's start with the visiting Tinora Rams. And again, not a deep bench for head coach Chris Lymanstall and company, but he has settled on a 5, and you're taking a look at him. At the point, it will be Jared Neff, a 6'3 junior. Neff coming into this one, averaging 3 points and 3 rebounds, a couple of assists per ball game. At the off guard, it will be Grant Lymanstall, the 5'11 sophomore. Lymanstall averaging 7 points and a couple of boards per contest. At the swing, Dylan Shopley, 6'1 and a senior. Shopley averaging 7, and 2. He is one of the team's better free throw shooters, though, at 66%. Your front court looks like this, and they will have their hands full with Jeremiah Peak and Dane Ewers. At the forward spot, it will be Josh Lieb, a 6'2 junior. Lieb coming into tonight, the team's leading scorer at just an eyelash under 13 points per contest. He also leads the team as far as board work is concerned, pulling down nearly 6 per ball game. He is the team's best free throw shooter at 77%. And then in the middle, Parker Hancock, the 6'2 senior. Hancock averaging 4 and 4. Again, he is a rare three-point shooter, but he's percentage-wise one of the better on this Rams roster at 40%. Those are the starters for the visiting Tinora Rams. On the flip side, for head coach Logan Wolfram and the Ayersville Pilots, it's the usual suspects. At the point, it will be Dylan Dunn. Dunn, a 5'11 senior. Dunn had that massive game at Fairview before Christmas. He's been trying to get consistent with it. He's averaging 6.5 points, 2.5 boards, and just over 1 assist per ball game. At the off guard, Owen Lloyd. Lloyd, a 5'10 senior. He is averaging 5 points, 3 rebounds, and a couple of assists per contest. At the swing, the man who basically most GMC coaches see in their nightmares, Jeremiah Peak. Peak standing in at 6'2". I think that may be fudging it just a bit. I think he's the better part of 6'2", if not a solid 6'3". He is thick, very muscular. He averages 16.5 points per contest, just over 5 boards, and dishing out 1.5 helpers per contest. At the forward spot, Jackson Stambaugh. Stambaugh, a 5'11 junior. He averages 3.5 points and a couple of boards per contest. And in the middle, Dane Ewers. And we say in the middle, but that's really because they put a 5 next to his name. He is very agile with the basketball. He'll quite often bring it up against pressure. Ewers can do a little bit of everything, and his stats show it. Ewers, again, standing in at 6'4" tall, a sophomore, the team's leading scorer, basically 21 points per ball game, but he's averaging almost a double-double. Just an eyelash over 9 rebounds per contest. And how about this? He also can find the open man. Scoop, he's just under 3 assists per ball game. The super sophomore does just about everything.
He really does. You talked about his points and rebounds, nearly getting a double-double, but he also shoots 54% from the floor. Leads the team in assists, leads the team in steals. Just a phenomenal player. A guy that was second team all GMC as a freshman. He's that nightmare matchup because he's so versatile, can really play any of those spots 1 through 5 at any time.
What he also does is get to the free throw line, whether you've got to basically challenge a big to come out, get uncomfortable and play out around the arc, or if he backs you down. Scoop, coming into tonight, he has shot 100 free throws. He's hit 74, so for a big man at 74%, pick your poison. He can score in a lot of different ways.
Well, anytime you're making up a scouting report, that's going to be the first thing you look at. How many times does this player get to the rack? Those guys that get to the rack are those nightmare matchups because they're going to go downhill. You combine that with his athletic ability, his ability to really shoot from anywhere on the floor. Boy, he's going to be a tough guard. And again, you're not going to shut him down, but you have to make him work for everything he gets tonight.
We've got just under 12 minutes left to go before we tip this one off. Both teams now out for basically a standard shoot-around as they are pulling out the bleachers. And as you can see, actually we just switched cameras there, but just off to our left, the auxiliary gym has now opened up. Those extra bleachers are going to mean for some much-needed seating. Normally it's the student body, but at this point in time, I think nobody's going to be too particular as long as they can find a seat. I can tell you right now where we're sitting, which is on the visitors section. Tinora had this place packed about 30 minutes ago. A lot of Ayersville's fans have actually been forced to move over to the bleacher seating here, and we expect a standing room only crowd here tonight. We're going to take a quick timeout. We've got 11 minutes left to go before we tip this one off. Those are your starting lineups brought to you by Baker Schindler Company, proudly serving the area with the highest quality contracting services for nearly 100 years. Baker Schindler Company of Defiance and Paulding, baker-schindler.com. We'll take a quick timeout. When we come back, we'll have your Northwest State Community College keys to the game. Don't go anywhere. Live from the hangar, it's those teams across the river. Tinora and Ayersville getting set to do battle tonight on the Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show, courtesy of DCTV Sports.
Proudly serving the area with the highest quality contracting services for nearly 100 years. Baker Schindler Company of Defiance and Paulding. 419-782-5080. Online at baker-schindler.com.
Superior Credit Union, a not-for-profit, member-owned financial cooperative. Visit superiorcu.com to find out more about joining the winning team at Superior Credit Union. West Banco, building a better bank every day since 1870. Community-focused West Banco. Find out more at westbanco.com.
At Arthur Law Firm, we understand how overwhelming life can be after being seriously injured in a car accident. With over 50 years of experience, Arthur Law Firm has a track record of getting the results you deserve. When you don't know where to turn, get answers.
When a fire or natural disaster throws a penalty flag, let ServiceMaster Restore work for you. Anything from minor cleanups to complete overhaul and rebuilding. Contact ServiceMaster by McCann.
Back at the hangar, Ayersville warming up in the front court there, right in front of our camera. In the background, you can see the green and white candied striped pants of the Tinora Rams, the visitors here this evening. Pilots 8-6 overall, 2-2 in the GMC. Rams 6-10, but also 2-2. Rams finally got off the skid just 6 days ago with a 74-44 win versus Hilltop. That broke a 4-game losing streak. But Scoop, you take a look at their overall record, and they started the season very strong, winning 2 of their first 3. They've lost 4 of their last 5. 4 losses out of their 10, though, have been by a handful. 5 points or less. The problem, again, when you're not a high-octane offense, we go back to what Chris Limenstall was saying, is you'd better take care of the basketball. And roughly 50% of the 14 turnovers they average per game have led to scores by the opposition.
Well, you're right, and you just don't have that type of margin of error when you're playing a very competitive Green Meadows Conference. And you couple that the fact you mentioned those turnovers, those live ball turnovers that lead to runouts. Again, 4 different games decided by 1 or 2 possessions that could have easily went the other way if they could somehow just reduce those turnovers.
On the flip side, the Pilots enter this one on a 2-game winning streak going back to the 23rd. As a matter of fact, they played back-to-back. They've been doing a lot of that post-New Year's. Back-to-back games, Friday, Saturday, but at Hicksville back on the 23rd, a 10-point win. And then on the 24th, the very next night, they took care of Jefferson by half a dozen, 57-51. Let's go ahead and take a look at your keys to the game, brought to you by Northwest State Community College. Northwest State Community College, your key to great career opportunities, begins with a great education at Northwest State. Visit northweststate.edu or call their admissions office at 419-267-1320 today. Let's take a look at the visitors first, the Tinora Rams. What do they need to do to walk out of here a winner?
Well, I think for Coach Limenstall and his guys tonight, it's going to be important for them to get off the quick start. And I think this is twofold. You know, one, being an underdog, playing on the road, I think you want to get some confidence early. That could go a long way. And the other thing is you have to find a way to take the crowd out of it, or at least try to neutralize the crowd. So getting off to an early start, getting out of gates could go a long ways for a Ram winner tonight. I think the second key tonight for Tinora, they've got to control the boards. You know, if they can control the boards, that will limit some fast break opportunities for Ayersville. And you couple that with the fact that the Rams have really struggled offensively, scoring about 40 points per contest through their first 16 games. I think they have to find a way to get a couple extra buckets that could make the difference between a W and L. So getting those second chance points will loom large here. And if they can get it done in these areas, they can pick up win number 50 for 5th-year head coach Chris Limenstall, a Tinora grad.
On the flip side, for the Pilots, coming into this one at 8-6 overall, 2-2 in the GMC, what do they need to do to get above 500 in conference play?
Well, I think for Coach Wolf and his guys, you know, they want to try to come out the aggressor, get downhill early and often. You know, they cannot come down and just settle for maybe the first shot they see. They really want to be the aggressor. You mentioned the fact that Dane Ewers has a knack for getting the foul line. You do that by playing downhill. I think the second key tonight for the Pilots, they've got to control the tempo. And the way you do that is you get stops on defense, you get those rebounds. That allows you to get those 4-on-3, 3-on-2 scenarios that could go a long way in speeding up the Pilots here tonight. And if the Pilots can get done in these areas, they could equal their season-high win streak of 3 consecutive games.
Well, you take a look at what the Pilots did last season, and they were sub 500. They lost over twice as many games as they won. They were 7-15 overall. They were 2-5 in conference play. They've already won as many games so far to this point in time of the season than they did all of last year. But you know, they'd like to finish up strong. At this point in time, before you know it, Scoop, you're going to blink. We're going to be into February, and we're going to be talking the postseason.
Well, you're right. And you know, even though they're 2 games back of unbeaten Paulding in the GMC, you know, with the win here tonight, they mathematically potentially could come out here just 1 game back, tied for 2nd place. So they still have some slight GMC hopes available, trying to pick up their first GMC championship since the 2017 season, where they went back-to-back in consecutive years.
Again, you talk about Paulding at the top of the pack, Fairview just on their heels at 3-1, and then things get very messy. You got the Pilots at 2-2, the Rams at 2-2. I see you flipping. You always come over prepared. Who else is in the mix as far as the standings are concerned?
Well, really, it's a kind of a log jam in the middle. You know, got Wayne Trace and Fairview playing some really good basketball right now. They're just a game back of Paulding. And then you've got Edgerton, Tinora, Ayersville, all with 2 losses, trying to slip into that 2nd spot. And hopefully they're going to get some help there. But Paulding, they've been the real deal. They're on a really roll right now. They started out a little bit slow due to that football success, but now they've upped their winning streak to 8 consecutive ball games and counting.
Well, we're hitting that point in time of the season where basically the pack starts to separate itself, and this game tonight is going to go a long way in seeing who remains in the hunt and who might very well be relegated to the role of spoiler. 3.5 left to go before we tip this one off. Those are your keys to the game, brought to you by Northwest State Community College. Northwest State, your key to a great career opportunity begins with a great education at Northwest State. Visit northweststate.edu or give them a call at 419-267-1320 today. We're going to take a quick time out. Back with more of the Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show right after this. You're watching DCTV Sports.
Discover affordable transfer opportunities at Northwest State.
Start here and save thousands on tuition.
Our advising team will help you get your credits transferred.
So don't wait another minute. Get started today.
When a fire or natural disaster throws a penalty flag, let ServiceMaster Restore work for you. Anything from minor cleanups to complete overhaul and rebuilding. Contact ServiceMaster by McCann.
Stanball Jewelers is your trusted source for diamonds, fine jewelry, watches, and gifts. Whether you're looking for a dazzling engagement ring, a timeless anniversary gift, or a present for someone special, Stanball Jewelers has something for every occasion. Visit us today and discover why we've been serving the community since 1948.
Under 2.5 minutes before we get set to tip this one off. They refer to each other as that team across the river. And this rivalry, well, I wouldn't call it a blood sport, is very intense. But Scoop, at the same time, Tinora and Ayersville, what most rivalries hopefully would aspire to be. And that's, while it's very intense, it's also still very healthy. A lot of respect for each other.
Well, I totally agree. You know, that's what I've witnessed, kind of being not having any horse in the race here. I've seen that mutual respect across the board, which speaks volumes. But, you know, make no bones about it. If you've talked to some of these alums of both these schools, this is the one game they circle back in the summer, and they've got the countdown timer going pretty much until it's tip-off. So right now we're edging closer, 90 seconds away, and what should be a terrific atmosphere here tonight at the hangar for these great rivals.
90 seconds and counting. The atmosphere getting thick. You can feel the edge. There is some electricity here in the hangar this evening. Ayersville in their home whites with those baby blue numbers with the lettering and the gold trim. Tinora in their traveling green uniforms with the white lettering and numerals. They respect each other. Many of these players know each other. They're friends, quite often play on traveling teams with each other outside the high school season. But tonight, No mistake about it, they want to beat each other. Bragging rights for another year. Balls are in the racks. Players heading to their respective benches. There you get a good look at Chris Limenstall and company. They are the underdogs here this evening, but that doesn't mean that it's not a winnable game. As a matter of fact, in talking with Coach Logan Wolfram, he said it's really simple. If we can't get up and down the court tonight, they're going to have the advantage. So we'll wait and see which prevails, the irreversible force or the immovable object.
In case you're wondering, Ayersville 3-3 at the hangar this year. Tinora 4-6 on the road. Both these teams have been tested down the wire. Tinora 3-4 in single-digit games. Ayersville 4-3 in single-digit games, and this easily could be another single-digit game for both these squads here tonight.
Buzz of sounds. We are getting set for the singing of the national anthem. Our thanks going out to our underwriter for the national anthem, the Defiance County Veterans Office. Proud to support local veterans and their families, connecting them with the resources made available to them. If you'd like to know what you're eligible for, log on to defiance-county.com/veterans office or give them a call at 419-782-6861. I believe this is Dane Ewer's dad on the PA tonight, so kind of pumping up the crowd a little bit. The officials can't quite tell, but they are over in front of the scorers table. We'll identify them here in just a second. And the national anthem done by the soloists. I couldn't quite catch her name. She's a sophomore, and I believe they said Gracie, and I couldn't catch the last name. But well done, young lady, well done. Tough for where we're sitting here to even get to our feet. We are snug in media row here on the, what would this be, the east side of the stands. And as expected, this place is going to be packed. Scoop, I know you called the girls' game last night. And Tinora pulled off the mild upset against the Pilots. And tonight we'll see what the Rams boys have in store. Ayersville trying to build a little bit of momentum themselves.
Well, not only did the Rams pull the mild upset last night, you know, they overcame a 50-20 loss earlier in the season back on December 8th. We're able to turn that around with an impressive 10-point win. And again, that's what this rivalry is about, though. You know, you can't look in the newspapers, you can't look at who you played, what your record is against so-and-so. You throw the records out, you got to lace them up. You got to play for 32 minutes if you want to come out top in the River rivalry.
8 minutes up on the scoreboard clock. They are introducing the Spirit squads right now. Ayersville and then Tinora.
You know, last year Ayersville was able to pull out the road win in Jewel 53-42, while 2 years ago Tinora won a nail-biter 55-54 here at the hangar. So again, it's always nice to play at home, but not necessarily an advantage when you get to this type of intense rivalry.
We're going to have to check and see what the student body's theme for tonight's game is. Lone Ranger, I'm just not quite sure. It's a blackout, but they've got the masks. But at least we can say this, Scoop, everybody's participating. So they're getting in the spirit of things.
Well, that you have to love, and it's always a great atmosphere here at the hangar. But now the lineups being introduced here for the host Pilots, and the crowd comes to their feet.
They got the hype music going. Europe's the final countdown. Lights are on. Hype has finished. We've had 6 days of hype. It's now about to funnel into 4 quarters of truth. Who will walk out of here with bragging rights for another year? Your officials tonight. We've got a good group. Chad Schimmel, Robert Guads, and Aaron Mohan.
I don't think those guys aren't pumped up either.
No.
Right now, I think everybody wants to be out in the court playing, and you see the student body there going crazy here for the Pilots.
The opening tip-off brought to you by Superior Credit Union, not-for-profit member-owned financial cooperative. Visit superiorcu.com to find out more about joining the winning team at Superior Credit Union. Ball out of bounds. Ayersville will maintain possession. I'll be very curious to see how much zone Tinora elects to run tonight. They've been a little heavy on it. And again, it's a pick your poison. If you run man to try and take away and come out and take away the arc, you've got Peak. You also have Ewers who can post up. And right now they're starting in what looks to be a bit of a soft man-to-man. Lloyd at the top of the key, drives and dishes. Far corner, Peak just a bit short. Look what I found by Ewers, little pinball. Drive from the corner. Boy, collapse and recover right now. Tinora, so far, so good. Testing the water, Stanbaugh gets rid of it. Ewers, a little stop and go. Corner three, Lloyd sees this one skim off the front of the iron. Oh, what a tremendous effort and a save by Dylan Dunn.
Great hustle play. I'm not sure why that was not over and back. That was a controlled tip, but a tremendous hustle play. The second offensive rebound in this initial possession for Ayersville.
Peak stops, pops, a little short. And are we going to have a foul? Or just out of bounds off of Ayersville?
I think we're going to have a foul on that one. That time the Pilots, Gildy coming over the top, trying to extend that possession one more time.
Dunn picks up his first. And as expected, Ayersville coming out in full court pressure. This is going to be a 1-2-2, and this is going to be laid on thick all night long. Tinora breaks it relatively easily. Neff slows it down. Now we've got a loose ball. Calm and in control here. And I tell you what, we do have a change from the starting lineup that we were given. Owen Farrell is actually on the court here. So Farrell, who had been displaced about a week ago, is getting the starting nod here tonight. Top of the key, being very patient. This is what Tinora wants. Half court, deliberate offense. And they are going to be in no rush.
Yeah, here you see the contrast already in the first possession for each team. Tinora wants to get into that half-court game. Ayersville wants to push the tempo.
Long three from the right wing. Parker Hancock, the big man, comes out and drains a West Banco three.
Great patience that time. I love how everybody got a touch, got their hands involved with it.
Peak elevates from the free throw line, just a bit short. Tinora, boy, this is what you'd call a fast break. That's as quick as you're going to see the Rams get up the court. And here comes the patience, movement without the basketball. This is a heat check from way beyond the arc by Lieb. Offensive board, Hancock short-armed it. Second chance, no good. And falling out of bounds, somehow Dunn saved it. He's 2 for 2 falling out of bounds tonight. Peak being picked up by Grant Lymanstall. They're going to throw the kitchen sink at Jeremiah Peak tonight. The drive, the dish, catch and shoot from the corner, and the iron's been unkind for the big man to start the ball game. Quick outlet, and the Rams, again, this is about as fast as you're going to see them move, and immediately putting on the brakes and backing it out into the half court. Farrell getting into the low blocks to Lieb. Back out beyond the wing. It's just a bit short, but a long rebound corralled by Hancock. Nobody under right now. Basically a lot of 5 out, none in. Scoop, break this down because I wouldn't even call it motion right now. It's somewhere in between basically a spaced set and continuity. It is really unique.
Yeah, they're sending really a cutter through, but he's not going through really below the foul line, so it is really 5 out right now. And what they want to do is to get this isolation.
And they just got it. Count it, and one coming. Owen Farrell saw the daylight and made the drive.
Well, that's a great take that time by the 6-foot junior Owen Farrell. And again, you've really got a 1-4 high. When you get the ball the wing, there's no help underneath, so you cannot afford to give up the baseline like we saw right there. And a great take by Farrell, who now goes for the end one. And how about the Rams? We talked about a quick start.
Wow.
They now have put up 6 points here halfway through. And right now at the other end, pitching the shutout.
Farrell, a 66% free throw shooter, actually a 61% free throw shooter, completes the three-point play, but even more so, that's Dylan Dunn's second foul. So the starting guard has got to sit. And into the ball game comes Evan Wolfram. Now again, Ayersville won't go very deep, no more than 7 usually. They're still looking for their first points of any kind tonight. Peak has taken 3 shots. He's been close on a couple. Little shake and bake, but surrenders the basketball. Wolfram on the drive. Cut off, good footwork by Neff.
Right now, the Rams winning those one-on-one perimeter battles. Ayersville's not gotten downhill, and here's the game's first turnover. Once again, a great defense possession by the Rams, who continue with that soft man-to-man.
All right, and here's the chess game between the two head coaches. Logan Wolfram has just gone to his big man right now as checking into the ball game, Caden Boer.
Well, I understand why he's doing that. Right now, the Pilots just 2 offensive rebounds on the night. Meanwhile, the Rams have 5 rebounds, including 3 offensive rebounds. So he's really in there for one job, and that's to start controlling the glass. Something we thought would be a key here tonight.
Boer at 6'5" and a good 250-plus pounds. He's just kind of hanging around in the middle right now. He's got that heavy knee brace on. Early 6-0 lead for the Rams. Nice backdoor cut. They'll kick it back out. You know what this kind of reminds me a little bit of? The Princeton offense. Coach Carroll.
Yeah, I knew you were going there with it because it certainly does. I like that nice little isolation they try to go with Lieb.
Although that's not part of Pete Carrill's offense, the long 3 off the front of the iron by Elliott Horn, and here comes Ayersville. Still looking for their first points of any kind tonight. Ewers double teamed at the free throw line, kicks out. Lloyd for 3! The Draperies swish, and another West Banco three-pointer.
Well, that's a huge 3 there from Owen Lloyd. The fact that they had to double team Ewers, who was determined to get downhill.
On the drive, in the paint, count it, and one coming. Boy, that is just pure brute strength by Elliott Horn, and he earns a free throw.
Oh, he really did earn that. What a play by the sophomore. You know, great pass inside there. And again, he's that guy that can play through contact. And for the second time here in this opening quarter, the Rams looking for the and one here, trying to answer that three-point West Bank three by Owen Lloyd just moments ago.
A struggle from the free throw line this season at just 43%, and he's long on this one. But it keeps the lead at 5, 8-3 with under 2 minutes left to go first quarter.
And yours yet to take a shot in this game.
Bullet pass down low to Boer. They don't have a match for him. If the big man can get basically his base set and his hands up and demand the basketball, Scoop, I'm not sure how they're going to deny him tonight.
Well, I don't think they're going to try. You know, he comes in averaging just under 1 point per game. So I think, you know, if he gets points, it's gravy, and I think Tinora will probably allow that.
Peak follows his own miss, muscles up in the paint, still leaves it short, ripped down by Horn. Up the court, the near side, Cody Bum. Heat check from the far wing, and I'm not sure Chris Lymanstall. Oh, I think Grant Lymanstall's coming out. Yep, coaching staff maybe not happy with that shot selection. Parker Hancock will check in, Lymanstall will check out. Farrell will also come onto the court to spell Jared Neff.
Yeah, really surprised to see that shot that early in the offense. I mean, that's a shot I think is going to be there all night.
Well, it's not really within the feel of their offense either, is it?
No, they want this to be a lower possession game, so until Ayersville forces the issue, I think you keep moving the basketball.
Oh, Ewers backing down Lieb. He drew a double team. He went up and came down with it, and that'll be a travel.
Yeah, what a big-time play by Josh Lieb, the junior. Guy that was honorable mention all GMC a year ago has really upped his game at both ends of the court this season.
Well, that full court 1-2-2 press hasn't really affected Tinora too much, as nice job by Wolfram to get back on the double clutch, knocks the ball out of bounds off of Hancock, and it will be Ayersville possession.
Tremendous transition defense. That time, Tinora, I thought one of the few times they were going to take that fast break opportunity, but what a hustle play. First turnover of the night by the Rams.
Wolfram crosses over, stops at the elbow. Peak looking to get on track, and maybe that'll do it. Give him the kiss and takes the foul.
Well, it took over 7 minutes, but the Pirates were finally able to get downhill. As that time Peak, instead of taking that corner three, I love the decision making, that strong dribble move down the baseline, goes through the contact. And all of a sudden, we got a one-possession game with Peak trying to convert the and one.
87% free throw shooter. The junior asking for the basketball. He's towing the line and ready to go. Immediately releases, and around the world it kicks out. Rebounded and somehow saved, and those are soft hands by Bum.
Boy, a dangerous save underneath the Pilot bucket, but it worked out well. As now we'll see if the Rams elect to go for one here. Up three with the basketball as we hit the 25-second mark of the opening quarter.
And the tempo they have wanted for the better part of this first quarter. They couldn't have scripted a much better start. Lieb, little three-man weave at the top of the key, 12 to shoot. There's that driving lane, and Pete came over and gave him a little too much of a love tap.
And that's not a bad foul. That time a pretty good take there, and Pilots had one foul to give. So 4 Ayersville fouls now. First on Jeremiah Peak.
And trying to direct traffic, Farrell making sure everybody's in the spot that they need to be for this baseline out of bounds. Lob to the top of the key, 9 to shoot. Neff surrenders at low blocks. They got to hustle, 4 seconds. 2 seconds. Will they even get a shot off? They won't! And Ayersville with strong defense to end the first quarter after falling behind by as many as 6 early has cut the lead to 3. A low-scoring first 8 minutes sees visiting Tinora 8, host Ayersville 5. Back with quarter number 2 right after this. You're watching DCTV Sports.
Stanball Jewelers is your trusted source for diamonds, fine jewelry, watches, and gifts. Whether you're looking for a dazzling engagement ring, a timeless anniversary gift, or a present for someone special, Stanball Jewelers has something for every occasion. Visit us today and discover why we've been serving the community since 1940. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestill.com.
West Banco, building a better bank every day since 1870. Community-focused West Banco. Find out more at westbanco.com.
Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestill.com.
Buzz of sound, second 8 minutes put up on the scoreboard clock. We welcome you back to the hangar. Those teams across the river facing off against each other tonight. Low scoring affair. Visiting Tinora with an 8-5 lead. Really not a lot of scoring for either team. A 3 for Owen Lloyd, a deuce for Jeremiah Peak, a 3 for Parker Hancock, and a couple of baskets from the floor for Elliott Horn and Owen Farrell. That spells the offense for both teams. Scoop, a relatively clean played ball game though as well. What do you have for board work and turnovers?
The first quarter, 7 rebounds to 6 there as the Rams edged out Ayersville. On the turnover side, just 1 Ram turnover and 2 for Ayersville.
Wow.
And how about
West Banco 3 for Josh Lieb. Second of the night for the Rams.
Yeah, Lieb's a tremendous player. I thought they did a great job trying to contain him in that first quarter. The Rams would love to see him get him tracked here tonight.
Ewer's first shot of the night from about 18 goes begging off the rim, and it's one and done. A strong board by Neff.
You know, for Tinora to win that rebound battle 7-6, I thought that was huge because 4 of the first 5 rebounds belonged to Ayersville in that opening quarter.
Neff for 3, halfway down, it spits out. Down by 6, here comes the Pilots. Just 2 players have scored so far tonight. More specifically, 2 hasn't scored, and that's the man with the ball right now, sophomore Dane Ewers, who averages 21 a night and has just taken 1 shot so far.
Yeah, he's got to get 5 shots a quarter. Credit to Tinora, did a great job in that first half. Not letting get downhill.
Wolfram for 3, nothing doing. Peak with the board up top. Ewers from distance, got it!
Well, huge offensive rebound that time by Jeremiah Peak, who goes inside out. Ewers not real prolific behind the 3, but you let him step and shoot in rhythm. It can be lethal, and that's a huge West Banco 3.
And there he is playing defense. Nobody in front of him on the way to the rim. No foul. They'll play on. Just like that, he scored 5 points in the space of about 30 seconds.
Yeah, you love it when you get points for your defense, and credit yours, a quick 5-0 run in a matter of seconds, and all of a sudden we got a 1-point ball game.
On the drive, Lymanstall, beautiful pump fake, but he got out over his skis a little bit. He airmailed it. Offensive board by Hancock, and out of bounds off of Ayersville, correct? Jeremiah Peak tried to sell that to the official, and he's saying, no, Ram basketball.
And that time probably an ill-advised shot there by Lymanstall. That's what Ayersville wants to do with that press, you know. If you get steals, that's icing on the cake, but you want them to come down, take a quick early shot where they don't have a lot of rebounding presence.
And this is more the tempo that Tinora wants to play this game at. Although look at that sticky on-ball defense by Stambaugh. Almost got the steal. And it looks like Logan Wolfram has challenged his team as a long 3, settled for. Nepp had it, lost it to Wolfram.
Big rebound that time by Wolfram. Looked like that was going to go the other way.
Oh, beautiful move. Peak on the drive. Give him his second basket of the night. And it's the first lead of the evening for the Pilots at 12-11.
Nice 7-0 run here. The pressure is really steamed up.
Yep, another turnover. Lloyd thought about a 3. Now he's picked up his dribble. Stambaugh will come help him out. Peak out in between the circles. Lymanstall giving him plenty of space. Peak crosses over, explodes to the rim. Friendly roll at the hanger. Now 6 for the young man who averages nearly 17 a game.
It's amazing when you turn the dial up defensively what it does to your offense. A 9-0 run here in the last minute and a half. Another three. So the last three shots here by the Rams have been beyond the arc.
They've settled as Lymanstall hits the deck hard. Stambaugh didn't see him and trucked him out near half court. Nothing malicious, but it will be Stambaugh's first foul, and it will be a change of possession.
Well, that's a tremendous heady play there to defensive end. He took a shot, but it will result in an Ayersville turnover. But right now, the Rams need to get back the offense, but the reason they're taking those threes, they're feeling the pressure from the Pilots.
That ball almost was kicked by Stambaugh. They do get it across the timeline. Now here's where Tinora had their way in the first quarter, but Ayersville is now bringing the top half of this defense up, and their on-ball pressure has been relentless in the second quarter.
Well, now they're being physical on defense, that they're not afraid to hack and reach. And how about that West Banco three?
Elliott Horn.
Horn, string music from the corner. We've got our first tie of the night.
Fade away, and Peak can't get the roll. 14-14. We've played just over half of the second 8 minutes here, and you saw right there things getting more physical. Lieb throwing out that forearm as a breaker. So is Lymanstall, and Wolfram's going to be guilty of the foul.
Well, that's a smart play by Lymanstall, because right now Ayersville defense is daring the officials to blow the whistle, and they really haven't. So that time you've got to play strong with the basketball. You can't just go east and west. Good downhill approach that time by Lymanstall, and that draws a foul there from the Pilots.
First for Wolfram, second for the Pilots. None here in the second 8 minutes for the Rams. Lob back into the backcourt, and still look at Wolfram despite that foul. Just sticking to Neff, and it forces the turnover. No, wait a minute. I think the officials still pointed to Tinora.
Yeah, that's going to be off Ayersville, but again, they're daring the officials right now to blow the whistle. And these guys are determined to let them play. I mean, you know, one thing, your hand check, when you got both hands all over, you're rerouting.
Well, that far out, normally you see a whistle. So the officials clearly are letting them go at it. And it's made for some fun basketball.
Yeah, this is not the fundamental basketball we grew up with, where they're just reaching and hacking.
Oh, look at that.
There's another one and another one.
And now the whistle. Now he throws his arms up, but at some point you've got to kind of feel the official out too, especially as an underclassman like Wolfram here. Okay, now I know what I can, but more importantly, what I cannot get away with.
Yeah, and right now Tinora has to slow down, you know. You have to be strong on the basketball, protect it, chin the basketball when necessary. As Ayersville, their man-to-man pressure has been relentless.
Well, look at this, Stambaugh with the deflection. I know at the college level, and this was probably a good 6 or 7 years ago, Scoop, but the NCAA rulebook came out. They referred to it as a hot stove touch. Basically, we'll let you make contact on and then off. And you can do that multiple times, but you can't keep your hands on.
Exactly. But again, there you see it once again, just trying to reroute every dribble you can. And that's why you got to slow down.
Here comes Ewers, splitting a triple team. He didn't care, and he's the benefactor as he picks up the foul.
And again, credit to Ayersville defense. You know, they're taking advantage of what the officials are allowing. But Tinora that time, a lethal mistake. You know, you cross the timeline, you pick your dribble up, you see the double team coming, you try to throw over the top. That's going to be bad math.
The inbound, Stambaugh on the drive, give him two. And here comes that full court 1-2-2 press again. Tinora broke it relatively easy in the first quarter, but now they're really struggling, and that's going to be a jump ball, and the arrow points Ayersville's direction.
All right, now if you're the Rams, you have to play through this. You have to play through it. You have to make some in-game adjustments here. But the Pilots, their physicality has really caused some problems here for this Tinora offense in quarter two.
Up by a basket. Peak posting up. Working against a double team. Mid-air pass, they'll reverse it. Up top, long three by Wolfram, nothing doing.
Great possession that time by the Ram defense. Not allowing Peak to get that soft jumper there from the baseline up.
Boy, Lloyd got back and cut off the baseline, but was just a little late. Hancock got the depth that he needed and give him his second basket of the night.
Well, that's a senior move, and that's where Tinora needs to go. They need to attack the interior, go downhill. Well, what great defense by Lieb that time.
Oh, wow, what a pass by Lloyd. Inside out, Peak at the top. Tinora has gone back to, are they in a 2-3 here? As Ewers drains the short jump shot. Give him 7 on the night, and it's back up to a 2-point lead for Ayersville. And that ball dribbled off of his foot. Here comes Ewers. Nice crossover. Oh, what a pretty finger roll as he smacks his hands together, and he's starting to feel his oats now.
Well, right now, turnovers have been the difference as Ayersville's gotten plenty of points in the second quarter from their defense. Tinora now needs to get in that half-court set.
Slow things down.
Force the Pilots to expend some energy here at the defensive end. And once again, they pick up the dribble near the timeline.
Boy, low pass at the feet of Lee, but he secures it. There's that back door. The lane, though, wasn't quite there. Great cut without the basketball. Hancock's got it, and he's heading to the free throw line.
Tremendous offensive set that time by the Rams. They went back to that 1-4 high. Were able to take Ewers on the baseline, but then when he's able to force him to pick it up, a good pass there, shovel pass across the middle. And now an and-one opportunity come up for Hancock. He's just a 38%
Not a good free throw
shooter.
No.
You want to foul him before he gets that shot off.
Oh, that is a low-line drive. He is now 6 for 17 on the season, and it keeps the Ayersville lead at 2. Peak stops and pops, fades away from the baseline. It's one and done as Hancock with a strong two-handed board. Stambaugh steals it, draws the foul, and he'll head to the line. Boy, the defense is basically baseline to baseline right now for Ayersville.
It really is, and that time just a heady play by the junior Jackson Stambaugh. That time the Rams did everything right as far as defense. They forced a tough contested shot. They had 3 guys there surround the basketball for the rebound, but then they got in a hurry, giving the basketball up. Stambaugh makes a play, and now he makes them pay with the first of 2 at the charity stripe. The back end here could make this a 2-possession game.
He's a 67% free throw shooter on the season. Looking to go 100% this trip, and in and out. Lead remains 3 with under a minute left to go here in the half.
Right now, Tinora continues to try to go over the top of this defense. They're playing with fire.
Lymanstall will slow it down. If you're Tinora, do you work for the final shot of the half here?
I think you do. You have to make some adjustments here at the break. Try to weather this storm a little bit. A second quarter that really kind of got away. That big 9-0 run by Ayersville, mostly because of their defense. And I like the fact Coach Lymanstall wants to take the last shot.
It's without question, although there's that backdoor lane, and Farrell lost the handle on the drive. Did he have help? Nope, it's out of bounds off of him. Scoop, that's been there multiple times tonight, but with maybe one exception, Parker Hancock, it just seems like Tenora's guards are hesitating, and then when you do that, boom, it disappears in a hurry.
Well, you're right. Right now, the Rams have to give 2 quick fouls here. You want to foul Peak before he gets into that shooting motion.
Peak on the drive, but cut off. Lloyd from distance misses everything, and that'll be the end of a night and day 16 minutes of basketball. It was molasses in January in the first quarter. It was more like, I'm trying to think, not quite chariots of fire in the second. And if those of you who were born after 1980 don't know that movie, Google is a great thing. 21-18 after trailing 8-5 at the end of one. Ayersville saving a really strong second 8 minutes of play, taking a 3-point lead into their respective locker room. We're going to take a quick timeout. When we come back, we'll have the Midwest Community Federal Credit Union halftime show. You're watching DCTV Sports.
Discover top quality healthcare education at Northwest State. Our instructors have real-world experience, so they know how to prepare you for great career opportunities. Northwest State, where you'll get the top quality healthcare education you need to succeed.
Stamball Jewelers is your trusted source for diamonds, fine jewelry, watches, and gifts. Whether you're looking for a dazzling engagement ring, a timeless anniversary gift, or a present for someone special, Stamball Jewelers has something for every occasion. Visit us today and discover why we've been serving the community since 1948.
In life, unexpected challenges can test us. If you've been seriously injured in a car accident, you deserve a team that understands. Because your story matters. Call Arthur Law Firm today. We'll fight for you every step of the way.
Back at the hangar, we are at the intermission. First 16 minutes of basketball in the books. And after trailing 8-5 at the end of the first quarter, Ayersville's offense, and in particular that press, and really just their half-court man-to-man has been smothering as they take a 21-18 lead into their respective locker rooms. Brent Balbinot alongside Scoop Miller. Time for your Midwest Community Federal Credit Union halftime show. Midwest Community Federal Credit Union, helping you achieve your dreams and securing your future. Visit them in Defiance, Bryan, or Napoleon, or online at midwestcommunity.org. All right, let's take a look at your Arthur Law Firm Stat Tracker stats. If a serious injury from a car crash puts you on the injured list, call the personal injury attorneys at Arthur Law Firm. Serving Northwest Ohio for more than 50 years. Get the compensation you deserve and back into the game with your winning team at Arthur Law Firm. Let's start with points. There really wasn't much at the end of the first 8. It has picked up a little bit. And speaking of picking up, Dane Ewers. It took him almost the entire first quarter just to take his first shot. He had a 3, he got a steal, and got a breakaway layup at the other end, and that seemed to jumpstart his offense. He has 9 points at the intermission to lead all players. 6 points for Jeremiah Peak, a 3 for Owen Lloyd, and a 3-point play for Jackson Stambaugh. That rounds out your Ayersville scoring. On the flip side for Tinora, how about this? More bench points than starters points. Leading the charge, starting center Parker Hancock. He popped out and got a 3 and then made a couple of nice drives. Again, drawing that Ayersville defense up. He had a backdoor cut on a couple of occasions. He's got 7 points. Elliott Horn has come off the bench to score a 3 and 1 from the floor. He's got 5. A 3-pointer for Josh Lieb and a deuce for Owen Farrell. And that rounds out your scoring. Scoop, what do you have for board work and turnovers?
Well, in the first half on the glass, the Rams out-rebounded the Pilots 12-11 with the Pilots garnering 4 offensive rebounds. And the Rams also had 4 offensive rebounds as well. On the turnover side, this is where Ayersville made their hay there in that second quarter where they outscored the Rams 16-10. They forced 7 Ram turnovers after the Rams had only turned it over 1 time there in the first half. So the Rams in the first half with 8 turnovers. Meanwhile, the Pilots just 3 turnovers in the first 16 minutes. And one of those was an offensive foul there in transition offense, so away from the basketball. So credit to Pilots. I thought they did a great job of really minimizing turnovers and creating some points from the turnovers they created at the other end.
Well, and that came predicated not just on the 1-2-2 press, but the top half of that defense, where in the first 8 minutes, Tinora was able to run a little 3-man weave action in between the circles. Passes weren't contested. Logan Wolfram said enough of that, and the defense didn't just become sticky, it became in your jersey for Ayersville, and Tinora really got flustered.
Well, you're right. And if you notice that where Tinora ran their offense in the first quarter, it was pretty much just beyond the 3-point line where they were making those entry passes. But then in the second quarter, they were trying to make those entry passes from near the timeline. That's not good math. That really allowed the Pilots to really overplay there, getting those passing lanes. And once they got some points for the defense, boy, not only did the crowd become energized, so did the Pilots.
Yep.
And you talked about those 9 points from Dane Ewers there at the half. Well, 6 of those were really from the defense, not the half-court offense. The other 3 was on that big offensive rebound by Jeremiah Pig, who spotted Ewers beyond the arc and hit that West Banko 3. So credit the pilots. Well, they made some great adjustments after that opening quarter.
We're going to take a quick timeout. Those are your Arthur Law Firm Stat Tracker stats. More of the Midwest Community Federal Credit Union halftime show right after this. We're back with more on DCTV Sports.
For the past 70 years, Midwest Community Federal Credit Union has been your financial partner, helping you achieve your dreams and secure your future. Midwest Community Federal Credit Union, with locations in Defiance, Bryan, and Napoleon. Find out more at midwestcommunity.org.
Discover top quality healthcare education at Northwest State. Our instructors have real world experience, so they know how to prepare you for great career opportunities. Northwest State, where you'll get the top quality healthcare education you need to succeed.
Back at the hangar, Brent Balbinot alongside Scoop Miller as the Midwest Community Federal Credit Union halftime show continues. I love their tradition here at the half. They do the hacky sack, or the hacky toss, I guess I should say. Closest to or in the middle wins. I'm assuming they would have had a higher pot tonight than $75, but $75 it was, and it was Paul Farrell from Tinora.
That'd be Owen's dad there.
Yep.
Maybe he's a better shot than Owen. I don't know after the first half there.
Well, I know he's going to be the most popular guy in the school. My guess is, will that money be spent before he even gets home is the question. There are a number of fantastic eateries and watering holes between here and there. So my guess is he might be buying a round or two before it's all said and done. All right, we've got 3 minutes back up on the scoreboard clock here. All right, let's put on your coach's cap right now. Your coach, Chris Lymanstall, you owned the first half. Then Ayersville came out and changed the tempo and really the intensity of this ball game in the second quarter. What's your message to your team in the locker room?
Well, you can't let the pressure speed you up. And I thought Tinora got a little antsy there once the Pilots extended that defense. So you have to play strong with it. I'd like to see them maybe get more dribble drives, going north and south. I thought that second quarter they just kept going east and west. So, you're right there. It's a one-possession game. You're on the road. You've got everything you want in front of you. And now you've got to play strong. Adjust to the officials. They're letting you play strong. So protect the basketball, but by all means, go downhill strong, get to the rack.
On the flip side, your coach Logan Wolfram, what's your message to your Pilots?
Well, hey, let's learn from that second quarter. When did we play harder, the first quarter or the second quarter? I think everybody knows the answer to that. You could see it from the top row where you and I are at, so you want to maintain that intensity. This is a rivalry game. You can't take plays off. Continue to hound the Rams. Try to speed them up. They're able to do that a few times with the Rams, even though the steal was not made by the Pilots. What they forced the Rams to do was take a quick and early shot, and I think that plays into the hands of Ayersville. So I think that's the message that Coach Wolfram tried to present to his guys.
2 minutes before we resume second half play. Pilots up by 3, 21-18. Right now, both clubs just looking pretty loose. It's a tight ball game, and the officials have let them play. Again, the fouls have been called when they've been needed, I guess would be the good term for it, but the men in stripes have really let the athletes dictate the first 16 minutes.
Yeah, and again, as a player and a coach, you have to adjust to that. I will give the officials a lot of credit because they've been very consistent. You know what's a foul and you know what's not a foul. So again, as a player, you make that adjustment, you play strong. And again, I think the message from both coaches is, hey, we want to win the sweat battle second half. We want to expend the energy, play at that high level intensity. We can do that here the second half. we got a chance to pick up a huge quality win here tonight.
62 seconds before we resume the intensity. They refer to each other as that team across the river. Who gets bragging rights for the next year, at least as far as boys basketball is concerned? We'll wait and see. Pilots came into this one nursing a 2-game winning streak, 8-6 overall, 2-2 in the Green Meadows Conference. On the flip side, the Rams at 6-10 overall, but also 2-2 in conference play. And they saw a 4-game skid finally snapped 6 days ago with a 74-44 win versus Hilltop.
Yeah, they could use some of those 77 points they put up on Saturday night here, where it's been awfully tough here. Just 18 first half points for Tinora. But again, this is the type of game, if we'd have talked about it beforehand, they won a game that's going to be maybe the first one to 40 wins. So really not a bad first half by the Rams. It's just that second quarter that really stood out, where Ayersville really flexed their muscle and took control.
Look, I asked Coach Lymanstall, and I said, if you score 40 points tonight, do you feel comfortable that you'll win? And he said, yes. We feel that that means we not only can play great defense, but we've dictated the tempo enough. We'll wait and see, because right now they're almost halfway to that goal. But the problem, if you're a Tinora fan, is Ayersville is as well. So we'll wait and see who can instill their will to open up the second half here.
Yeah, that first 8 minutes, Tinora just did not allow one transition opportunity for Ayersville. But when Ayersville turned up the energy on defense, that's what created those transition opportunities, and so many points for their defense. It's always huge.
A little bit of condensation on the court being wiped up, and now we're getting ready for second half action. Tinora will inbound. Farrell picked up his dribble across half court. He made things more difficult for himself. He's got it beyond the arc, right wing. There comes that, again, almost like they're running specific sets here, Scoop.
Yeah, that was a set play. They tried to go backdoor, anticipating man-to-man pressure from the Pilots. It really was a nicely designed play. You want to have that guy fake, but that pass needed to be a bounce pass to get to the active hands of Jeremiah Peak.
Ewers at the top of the key. Boy, they're doing a ton of switching on him. He's got a green jersey on him pretty much wherever he goes. Little shake and bake on the drive baseline. Leans in against Hancock. Follows his own shot. Wow, he knew it the second it left his fingertips on the first time it was going to be short.
Yeah, you're right. Just tremendous effort. Was able to play through contact, stayed with it. Huge offensive rebound and put back there for Ewers. There's now in double digits.
Give him 11. Make it a 23-18 lead. Lymanstall picked up his dribble.
Boy, they're picking it up
way out
south of that 10-foot spike line there in the volleyball court.
Lymanstall on the drive, but dishes and releases. Farrell. Top of the key, Lieb. He does have a 3 to his credit. Finding a little bit of daylight. Nice drive, but a little too hard off the glass by Neff. It's one and done. Here comes Peak. 4 white jerseys down the court. Skip pass near wing. Dunn for 3 off the heel of the iron. Boy, Dunn staying after it.
Boy, they're continuing to let these guys just bang each other around. You've got to play strong with it. You've got to play off 2 feet. I thought that last drive by the Rams, you have to jump stop. You know you're going to get a lot of contact. You go off of 1 foot. Boy, that's going to be tough to finish down there in the trenches where they're letting them play.
2 minutes into the third quarter. Nice cut without the basketball, but the pass was a little off. This is going to be a fadeaway jumper by Lieb, and he couldn't find the range. Outlet Peak. Nobody's picked him up, and whoa! What a late recovery and a facial given by Owen Farrell.
Wow, welcome to the block party, says Owen Farrell. The human eraser on that one.
Okay, Paul Silas. 5:35. Still no scoring left here. Pardon me, still no scoring this far into the second half for Tinora. That was a dangerous pass.
Yeah, you have to meet passes against this tenacious Pilot defense, or else it's going to go the other way.
Hancock will back it out. Ewers right in his jersey. Nice crossover by Farrell. He dishes. That's great movement without the basketball. Parker Hancock in the books.
Great job by Farrell. A strong move. He expected contact. And then the rim run that time from Parker Hancock, who makes a good finish off the nifty assist from Farrell.
They burned over 60 seconds on that offensive possession. Ewers on the drive and stripped by Neff. Quick outlet, and Tinora does not want to run. They can pull it within one or tie it with a three. Neff, one dribble, surrenders the basketball.
Right now, Josh Lee just has a glove all over him. Not getting any space.
Yep. Lloyd jammed him on a cut. Three ball at the top of the key by Neff. Wymanstall back out. It's the second time a charm. He missed on the same spot of the iron. Neff, pump fake, kicks it out up top. Lymanstall for a tray. This one short. Neff with the board. Whoa! He catches Lloyd across the chin. Nothing nefarious, and Lloyd gives him a little love tap back. And are they going to call a jump ball?
Now, how about the Rams hitting the offensive glass? They had 3 for a quarter beyond the arc, came up empty on all of them. That time the arrow belongs to the Pilots, so they get a big defensive rebound under duress.
23-20. Low scoring second half opening up here in the third quarter. We've played through half of it. Ewers sizing up Lieb, wanted to take him baseline. Stambaugh. Boy, really crisp perimeter passing right now by the Pilots. Open for three. Nothing but net for Jeremiah Peak. A West Banco three, his first from beyond the arc tonight. And they come out in that full court pressure.
Yeah, the Rams a little tardy trying to pick up Peak after the ball screen.
Lymanstall stops and pops, and that is a pretty looking jumper.
Yeah, good stroke and a huge hoop there by the Rams to get it down to 4.
Coming up on 3 minutes, Lymanstall strips Peak. A hustle for the ball. Lymanstall hits the deck. A little help from Peak. Left-handed pass. Lloyd dribbles in. Surrenders it near corner. Ewers hits the side of the backboard.
Well, right now it's just
wow, they're all over each other.
Call a thing.
And a foul now being called, I believe, on Farrell, and Farrell is having a word with the baseline official.
Well, they've got to get control. You know, we saw at the other end a whole body shove by Peak.
Yeah.
He got away with it. And then a couple down here before the third one finally called.
Farrell guilty of his second. It will be a shooting foul for Ewers. Ewers to the line for a pair. He is an excellent free throw shooter at 74%.
He's really stepped up since being shut out there that open quarter, now up to 12 points. But again, he's that guy that can get to the line 10 times in a ball game. I don't think that'll happen tonight, the way these guys have kept it in their pockets.
He's
Great
2
job
for 2
there
here.
by Ewers there, a couple big points. And Coach Wolfram wants to talk things over. He's going to burn a 30-second timeout.
We'll keep it here. Largest lead of the game for the Pilots at 28-22. Tinora had a 6-point lead in the first quarter, but it's been back and forth. It has been nip and tuck. No more than a 2-possession lead for either squad so far here this evening. Buzzer sounds. But man, it has been, what's the next step up from physical? Because it has been rough.
Yeah, I can't describe it. Right now, I love when you let guys play, but this is to the point where we're seeing guys intentionally foul guys and shove guys out of their dribble drive areas, and we're not seeing any calls. So, again, you have to adjust as a player. It's going to be awfully important for the Rams to play strong with the basketball. As you know, the Pirates are just going to keep extending that defense.
Well, they break the press this trip down the court, and now slowing it down, setting up their half-court offense. They're within arm's reach, but their offense is not high octane. You start to talk about 3 possessions plus, you start talking about having your back against the wall if you're Tinora. Lymanstall on the drive. I thought he might have had Lloyd there, but he elected to back it out. This is a heat check by Freeman. Loose ball picked up by Ewers. Lloyd, 1-on-2, he doesn't care. Count it, and one coming. Owen Lloyd using his own physicality to get a little separation, and he'll earn a spot at the free throw line.
That's a great move that time, going downhill by Owen Lloyd. Again, I like that. It's a strong move. You know, you initiate the contact. As an offensive player, you're going to get that call. And now he's got a chance to the end one. Tinora here's got to be awfully careful before this one starts slipping away.
Lloyd, a small sample size from the charity stripe this season, only 8, but he is an 87.5% free throw shooter. He has made 7 of them. And a chance for a three-point play here. Delivers. It's in and out. And the lead remains 8.
And right now, the Pilots have not committed a foul here in this third quarter. So they can give a few. They've been trying, but right now they've got 4 to give here as we near the 2-minute mark.
Lieb sizing up Peak. Peak cuts him off. Lymanstall left to right, step in on a 3. It's short. Peak with a strong two-handed board. And he'll bring the ball up the far side. Nice crossover. Is anybody going to pick him up? Dishes back out up top. Ewers wide open for a tray. It goes out of bounds.
That was a great look that time, and credit Peak that time. Came down with a big rebound, had that deep dribble penetration, was able to go inside out. Ewers all alone, able to catch and shoot in rhythm. Boy, that one would have brought the roof off the house here. The Rams dodge a bullet.
Lymanstall on the drive and gets the friendly roll. He's got 2 baskets here in the third quarter.
Yeah, right now he seems to be option A. He's going to have to really start taking over, trying to get some downhill penetration. They've completely taken out of their leading scorer.
Peak feeling it. Around the world it kicks out. And a strong two-handed board by Hancock. And he will run. Lymanstall thought about pulling the trigger, but elects to run the offense.
Yeah, I think if he had anybody else but Jeremiah Peak on him, he would have pulled the trigger.
And out in between the circles right now, Bum will slow it down. Under a minute left to go. And we'll see if Tinora might not work for the final shot of the quarter here, down by 6.
They've got to find a way to get Josh Lieb involved. Just that 1 3-point shot on the night. Other than that, he's been held in check.
Hancock on the drive, reverses his spin. Great movement without the ball by Neff, and Ewers will make him earn them from the stripe.
Now that's great ball movement. We saw that similar play earlier where Farrell was able to get that downhill dribble penetration. But again, good looking rim run that time by Neff. The NBA, that might have been a flagrant 1 or 2. Tonight it's just a common foul, but good to see the Rams get to the stripe here. That's where they want to try to make their hay. That one way off the mark from Neff. Neff, a 65% free throw shooter. But again, these guys are bragging a little bit. A lot of these guys are going on fumes with the high intensity and the physicality we've seen at both ends.
Second is on the way, and he makes the necessary adjustment.
Well, that's huge. Right now, the Rams need a stop. They can grab some momentum here if they can get a stop, trailing by just 2 possessions here.
Oh, nice backdoor cut by Peak, and he leans in to give him 2 more off the square.
Great 1-4 high offense that time. You get to Ewers, he's going to get a lot of attention. And Peak being denied overplayed goes back door. Boy, they made that look awfully easy, but a huge hoop that time.
16 to shoot. Oh, again, great job on the secondary break by Neff, and he couldn't muscle it up, but he'll head right back to the charity stripe.
Again, great rim run once again. Great feed there by the Rams. This is what they want to see. You got Neff right back at the charity stripe.
It's also Peak's second foul.
Give these officials some credit. They realized that this was getting out of hand, and now they're starting to call some of those hard fouls inside. And once again, splitting a pair may not get it done.
Well, Neff will have to settle for 1 out of 2 if he can make the second here.
Yeah, you want to get this one to make it a 2-possession game, and now you've got to have that stop.
Down by 6, under 10 seconds left to go. Ewers on the drive, leans in. They're going to call him for a travel.
That's a great call. That time Ewers clearly pushed off there with that offhand. I thought he was fortunate not to get called for the offensive foul.
Well, Logan Wolfram, I thought for a second, was about to sprint out on the court, but the coach holds his mud. 5 seconds left to go. 4. Not aware of it, dribbling backwards is Hancock, and they're not going to get a shot off. Boy, they had plenty of time, but he dribbled into the defense. We have played through 3. Still anybody's ball game, but Ayersville has doubled their lead. Pilots 32, Rams 26. 4th and final quarter when we come back at the hangar. Don't you go anywhere. You're watching DCTV Sports.
Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestill.com.
Discover affordable transfer opportunities at Northwest State.
Start here and save thousands on tuition.
Our advising team will help you get your credits transferred.
So don't wait another minute. Get started today.
For the past 70 years, Midwest Community Federal Credit Union has been your financial partner, helping you achieve your dreams and secure your future. Midwest Community Federal Credit Union, with locations in Defiance, Bryan, and Napoleon. Find out more at midwestcommunity.org.
4th and final quarter, we welcome you back to the hangar. Last 8 minutes put up on the scoreboard clock. Ayersville 32, Tinora 26, and a great spin move in the high blocks. Great dribble penetration by Parker Hancock, and give him 11 on the evening as they continue to hang within arm's reach.
Well, Hancock's been tough all night. What a possession that time to start things out in the 4th quarter.
Ewers wanted to drive baseline. That's good defense by Lieb to cut him off. Lloyd, he's got 5 on the night. Can he make it 7? Yes, he can.
Good looking pull-up that time by Lloyd, a confident shooter. Clutch shot there.
Limenstall, pump fake. He got peak in the air, but still altered the shot. Offensive board, and the Rams will kick it out and do what they do best, slow things down. Neff in between the circles. That ball almost lost by Horn. On the drive, high elevation by Limenstall.
A credit Peak. He's forced Limenstall to change his shot mid-air. He had to put a lot of extra arc over that to not get it swatted. Well, when you do that, your shooting numbers are going to go down.
Lloyd, he's feeling it. A little too much muscle that time as it's airmailed, and it will be Tinora basketball.
Yeah, that time maybe a little bit too much confidence. That probably a shot you didn't need. You're up a couple possessions here. You want to try to force Tinora maybe away from the basket and take them downhill.
Chance to cut into a 6-point deficit for the Rams. Every possession, though, critical, both offensively and defensively right now for Tinora.
Yeah, it's been that type of game, and you keep looking back at those 2 last second opportunities that the Rams had, and they did not get a shot off.
Baseline drive there by Lieb, and he picks up the foul. That will be Ewers' 3rd at the 6:04 mark. And again, the clock stops. With the Rams heading to the line, Lieb will be there for the first time tonight.
Yeah, this is the guy that really has to get on track, and this is looking more like basketball. A really good job that time by Lieb to recognize he had a one-on-one. Made a strong move to the baseline. The Pilots forced the foul.
Well, he's their best free throw shooter at 76%, and he makes both. 34-30. Ewers, lazy dribble out in between the circles. Directing traffic, they want to get it to Dunn. Dunn scoreless on the night. Picked up a couple fouls early. Peak.
Whoa!
Heat check, and he got it. Boy, you talk about catch and shoot. That thing was off his fingertips in the blink of an eye.
Well, that's what you do when you've got the green light. You've got so much confidence, and what a huge West Banco three that time by Peak.
West Banco every day since 1870. Community focused. Find out more at westbanco.com. 30-second timeout. We will keep it here with 5:29 left to go in the ball game. Well, that was a huge three by Jeremiah Peak, just as they being Tinora, had pulled to within 4. Boom. All of a sudden, it's now a 2-possession game again.
No, that's really huge because that shot does not go in. Now Tinora can come down, control the tempo, get to half court, take their time, try to make it a 1-possession game. And once you do that, that collar gets a little bit tighter. And now with a little cushion, look for the Pilots to continue to play with no fear.
I might have accidentally said 2-possession. 3-possession game is what I meant, up by 7. Still plenty of time, but when you play the steady, milk the clock style of offense that Tinora does, 5.5 seems maybe more like 3.5, doesn't it?
It does, no doubt about it. And again, right now the Rams don't need to abandon their game plan. They just got to find a way to score here, get this down to 2 possessions. Let their defense try to take over.
They're going to need to be, not to say not as methodical, but maybe a little bit quicker in their decisions. Everything's going to have to be about a half a step faster. That is a forced pass down low to Hancock into a trio of white jerseys, and here come the Pilots. Stand ball. Ewers from the elbow. You don't see that miss very often.
No, that was the look they'll take every time down. The Rams dodge a huge bullet after making a costly turnover in the last trip down.
Lead for 3. That doesn't catch anything, and he's going to hear about it.
Well, it's been that kind of night. He's had to work so hard to get the basketball, and when you do, you're going to be a little bit less effective. First thing to go, your legs. That makes that shot a little bit shorter. The out-of-character air ball that time by Lieb.
And we've got a whistle out in between the circles. This one's going to go against Neff.
That's a good job by Dunn that time to kind of direct the traffic there, get things under control, get the offensive set, but played strong with the basketball, draws the contact.
Ewers, all great offensive play coming out of that, basically breaking the play, and we've got a whistle. The foul's going to go against, it's going to be Parker Hancock.
That's just great execution. A nice, well-designed side out of bounds play. We talked about Ewers there, gets the ball in the middle. He's going to draw some pressure. That time, a nice backdoor entry pass to Dunn.
Dunn picks up his first point of the evening. He'll look for another. Dillon from the charity stripe this season, 58%. Trying to make it a 9-point lead. He cannot. Rebound ripped down by Lieb. Now Tenora's got to go. This was coming up on crunch time normally, but with their style of offense, they probably hit it about 90 seconds ago.
Yeah, and they have to go downhill here.
Oh, that's just beautiful. Backdoor cut, reverse lay-in, good by Lieb.
Well, anytime you got a guy being overplayed like Lieb, that's going to open up backdoor scenarios. So credit Coach Limenstall and his guys. Great execution there on that set. A huge basket there that makes it a 2-possession game once again.
38-32. We are now at the 4-minute mark left in the game. Peak drives in, lots of contact, and out of bounds off the Pilots.
Yeah, that time just kind of an ill-advised shot by Peak.
Whoa.
We talked about the physicality.
I don't know if you saw that, Scoop. Peak had a word or two for the baseline official, and the official told him to get back.
Boy, he's playing with fire right there. Last thing you want is a technical foul where you give him 2 and the ball.
Boy, that press is getting thick, but Tinora goes over the top of it. But at 3:45 and still down by 6, they've got to move.
Right now, I think the matchup they want is Lieb down low with Dunn guarding him. Or make that Lloyd.
They miss Limenstall, first cutter through. Freeman, second cutter. They miss him, and they've got to call a timeout there because Hancock had picked up his dribble. So a savvy timeout. This is a full timeout by Tinora. We'll take a quick break as well. 3:27 left to go in the ball game. Pilots 38, Rams 32. You're watching DCTV Sports.
Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestill.com.
West Banco, building a better bank every day since 1870. Community-focused West Banco. Find out more at westbanco.com.
We have hit crunch time at the hangar. Welcome back, Ayersville High School. Brent Balbinot alongside Scoop Miller. 3:27 left to go in the ball game. Arch rivals doing battle tonight. They refer to each other as that team across the river. And right now the Pilots leading the Rams 38-32. Still plenty of time left to go in this game, but if you are Tinora, and again with that very stodgy, very methodical, and time-consuming half-court offense, Scoop, do you call this a must-score possession for Tinora?
Well, it's not quite there, but it is a huge possession, no doubt about it. You've got to find a way. Points have been a premium, so right now try to cut into the lead.
Oh, Stanbaugh has forced Farrell to pick up his dribble, and they got to get it across the timeline. They finally do. Double teamed, and now Farrell's got it. But that took almost 15 seconds off the clock.
Yeah, that was a near 10 count there as the pass in the backcourt got knocked around.
And I thought we were going to have an offensive foul. Instead, Stanbaugh is going to be called for the block.
Yeah,
a blocking foul against Jackson Stanbaugh.
Yeah, I think that's the correct call. I think actually Stanbaugh that time was kind of slide, didn't have great position.
Oh, they throw it away. Stanbaugh, that's the easiest score he's going to have all year.
And again, that's all credit to that Ayersville defense. Just caused a lot of frustrations here, but a costly turnover. Those live ball turnovers have really done the Rams in. And Brent, the first one to 40 here is the
Ayersville.
Pilots.
And a foul, I believe it's going to go against Dunn. No, it will be instead Lloyd. That'll be his first.
Well, I never dreamed the way this thing started out, we'd get close to the bonus here in any quarter, but right now the Pilots with 3 fouls here, one more to give.
The inbounds to Lieb, he thought about a 3. Freeman will jack it up from the corner. One and done. Peak, quick outlet, and off the ankle. Dunn will now slow it down. Stanbaugh, oh, great secondary break by Peak. Wow, running the floor, finding space, and a great look by Stanbaugh.
There's going to be a travel here in the backcourt as they're going to whistle Parker Hancock. And again, all predicated by that Ayersville defense. Hancock turned to go. He had a defender on him. He took that little bunny step. This one not a live ball turnover right now. Tinora somehow has to make a play here with defense to get back in it.
Boy, in the last 60 seconds, things have really started crumbling for Tinora. Now down by 10. Ball knocked out of bounds. Peak will be the trigger man on the near side in front of his own bench. Stanbaugh right back to Peak, who's really being hounded. And we're going to have a foul on the wrist by Farrell. That will be Farrell's 4th.
Yeah, that time, certainly not a bad foul there by Tinora. Farrell trying to make a play. Most of the night, you can probably get away with that, but they have tightened things down here in this 4th quarter. And right now, both teams with just one more foul to give here in the final 2:13.
At what point do you have to start thinking about fouling if you're Tinora?
Well, I think you got to start thinking about it right away. You got to pick your poison. You don't want to put Peak on the line.
Well, they just put Stanbaugh on the line, or do they?
That was the last one.
Yep, that was the last one to give.
And right now, if you're Ayersville, you find a way to get the ball in the hands of Jeremiah Peak, the guy that's shooting nearly 90% at the stripe this year. If Tinora, you take a few extra seconds not to foul when Peak has the basketball.
Yeah. Right now, I think denial is the first order of business here if you are Tinora, right? You face guard Jeremiah Peak.
Oh, absolutely. I guarantee you're going to see jerseys being held here, whatever you can do to try to prevent this entry pass.
Neff working on Dunn. He picked up his dribble. Stanbaugh, now they get it back to Peak. And here's another guy you don't want to foul. And Peak's going to release the basketball. Drains a 3. Wow. High risk, high reward on a West Banco three that might just be the last nail in the coffin by Jeremiah Peak.
That's a dagger. And we're going to have a technical here on the Ayersville bench. One of the players said something to one of the officials.
Wow. Now Logan Wolfram is forcing a smile here. Was this a player on the bench or a player on the floor? Could you tell?
I think they got a little bit too antsy, or maybe either on the floor or said something. I don't know why he would say something out of the three, learn something good. So almost like a sideline warning in football, but this will result in a tee. And here we
Whoa! And Coach Wolfram has been told to sit down. Well, Lymanstall cannot connect on the first free throw.
Well, bench technical should result in a loss of coaching privileges, so I would think he has to sit down.
Well, he isn't yet, and he needs to be careful. And he's being told to take a seat.
Well, definitely the assistants have to be sitting down, no doubt about that.
Whew.
But right now, you've worked too hard to let this get away with frustration, so your guys have got you to this point. Let them finish here. Up a dozen after the technical free throws that were shot.
With only a $1.44. And look at this, stand by with a deflection in the steal. Secondary break, Ewers is fouled from behind. Horn thought he had all ball, but the official says otherwise.
Again, the defense is taking over. Another live ball turnover, ends in a run out there for Ewers.
How many does that make by your count for Tinora now?
And Tinora forced the foul. The Rams now with 5 here in this fourth quarter alone. And boy, they've really struggled with that. We knew that was a struggle point coming in, but 15 for the ball game.
Well, they're 1 over their average as Ewers splits the nylon on his first free throw attempt. Again, a 74% free throw shooter. Second is on the way. No good. Horn just let it go. And we'll see if Ayersville continues to come out in the press. The defense has just been smothering by the Pilots here tonight.
Yeah, I think you've got really, you just don't want to foul here, be smart, but you've got nothing to lose by pressing because the Rams have really not tried to capitalize.
Oh, wow, nifty move by Neff, and it won't fall. And bodies hitting the floor here. What's the call? Dunn didn't care for a little what he felt was extracurricular activity. And the foul is going to be charged to, looks like Horn. It's his 4th. Well, we knew it would be intense. It has been basically for every second from the minute this one tipped off.
Those should be free throws at the other end. I'm not sure why they're down there. That's the 5th foul.
And the officials have figured it out. They're going to walk to the other end of the hanger here. Dunn knew it. He's already there. It's like, give me the basketball. Toeing the line. Dunn 1 for 2 tonight. It's his only points of the evening. 58% free throw shooter on the season. And the iron unkind.
This is an Ayersville team that I'm not sure a lot of teams want any part of tournament time comes around. They
seem to be peaking at the right time.
Athletic and so intense.
Crossover dribble, beautiful spin move by Farrell. Wow, that might be the move of the night. Owen Farrell with a beautiful move and draws the foul.
Yeah, that's something they kind of got away from when Ayersville turned up that intensity. They just stopped looking to go downhill. That time a strong one-on-one move there by the junior Owen Farrell. Now looking for the end one to get this lead down to 10. And
he does. The question is it going to be too little too late? Timeout being called by Coach Lymanstall. That was Lloyd's 2nd foul. So right now, both teams with 5, but with 1:19 left to go. 2 things here if you're Ayersville. Number 1, assuming that you're going to see pressure from Tinora. But then number 2, if you're the Rams, if you don't get a steal or even a deflection, you really can't afford to wait any longer to foul, can you?
No, you can't. You've got to extend this ball game. You're down 10. You've got just 79 seconds. And if you're Ayersville, you have to understand, unless you get a layup, you're not taking anything from the field. You're a team that shoots 73% plus from the stripe. That's where you want to finish this game out. So play strong with the basketball. Expect contact. Don't be in a hurry. Let the time be on your side, and let that good free throw shooting team do its thing here and close this thing out in a key GMC matchup.
First buzzer sounds. Ayersville breaks their respective huddle. Tinora waits for the second buzzer, and now they'll do the same. Great atmosphere here this evening.
Well, it really is. Just great to be a part of this. Such a intense game for both squads, and right there you see Tinora wastes little time as Jared Neff is going to immediately foul Dylan Dunn. And they'll walk the other way here. That took just 1 second off the clock.
Well, Dunn is 1 for 4 tonight. And we'll wait and see what he's got in store for us here this trip to the line.
Yeah, really surprised that entry pass goes into Dunn, especially when you've got a lot of really lethal shooters out there.
And he's short on this one. He's upset with himself.
Remember, you got Lloyd out there, 88% shooter coming in. You've also got Peak, an 88% shooter coming in. Yours 74%. Stanball 67, and he goes 0 for 2.
But now if you're Tinora, you still have to hustle. It is a 4-possession game. Hancock on the drive. That was a little too easy. And Tinora will call a timeout with $1.07 left to go, and the lead now cut to single digits.
A great sequence that time after the Coach Limenstall timeout as the Rams pick the right guy to foul. They go 0 for 2. They come right back. And again, they go downhill, get the quick basket. And now we've got a single-digit game and now expect more or less the same. I would suspect Logan Wolfram going to try to find a way to get the ball into the hands here of either Owen Lloyd, Jeremiah Peak, or Dane Ewers. 3 really good options from the charity stripe.
Buzzer sounds. Let's see what they have set up, or designed at least, coming off this baseline inbounds. And it's going to be Ewers to do the honors. So this is interesting. So right now you've got to assume Jeremiah Peak is going to draw multiple green jerseys.
I almost thought they'd have Peak taken out and kind of run that baseline pass out of bounds and give it right back to Peak.
And flirting with 5, and Ayersville will call a timeout. Well, that was well defended by Tinora. But now they've given them a glimpse of what they're going to do defensively. So what do you do going back to the drawing board here if you're Ayersville?
Well, again, you find a way to get the ball in the hands of Jeremiah Peak. I think that's option A for sure. I always like it. After a basket, you can run the baseline or pass it across the baseline. So if you have Peak take it out, have a teammate step out of bounds across the lane, throw it to him. They put nobody on the basketball that time. So then you have Peak stand in bounds. You give it to him. You've got no 5-second count in the backcourt. Hold the basketball, make them foul. And even if you get a tie-up from not dribbling the basketball, Ayersville has the arrow. So I think you've got everything going for Coach Wolfram, but you have to get the ball in bounds here.
$1.07 left to go in regulation. Pilots 46, Rams 38. Everybody making sure they're on the same page defensively for Tinora there. And now the Pilots will break their huddle. And again, Ewers will be the trigger man.
And once again, no one on Ewers. They're going to try to double team
Jeremiah Peak. Lloyd would be a good option, although Peak just made that too easy and Limenstall fouls him.
Boy, that's a huge mistake there by the Ram defense. I thought they got too tight to Peak. I think you forced
I'm looking
a lob
at
over.
Limenstall, Coach Limenstall. He's upset. Somebody, I think, ran off Peak. I think he was supposed to have a second defender on him.
Yeah, and again, when you play that high up, you invite him to go to the basketball. I think you've got to force that shot over the top. And you talk about being automatic. That's been Jeremiah Peak. And what a night he's had. He's now up to 20 points. And right here, he could make this a 4-possession game and pretty much make it game, set, match.
That is sauce for the goose, as Peak, who averages 17 tonight with his 21st. It's a 10-point lead. Lymanstall, that's a long three around the world, nothing doing. And now the only question is, if you're Tinora, do you want to foul or do you just want to go? Whoa, traveling going to be the call. I was about to say, or do you want to let them dribble it out? And Pete got out over his skis a little bit and tried to make a move that he didn't need to and just lost his balance.
Yeah, I don't think you ever throw in the towel. I think you got to keep playing. But again, deny Peak. They catch a break there, as Peak did lose his balance, and he walked with the basketball.
Boy, the perimeter defense right now, though, just mugging Tinora. Lymanstall drives baseline, dishes off. Hancock loses the ball, and that might be all she wrote. Lymanstall tried to foul. Peak splits a double team. And right now, Ayersville will just take the air out of the ball for the final 25 seconds. Or will they? Ewers drives, and he's fouled. Wow. All right.
That's a smart play by Ewers. He felt the pressure. Looks like they were trying to half-heartedly give a foul on that. And then once he saw the Red Sea part there, he just took it deep to the lane.
Horn has just fouled out with 23 and 3/10 seconds left to go.
Yeah, that's why the officials should let him in there, even though they haven't shot the first free throw. They eventually do. And now Ewers, who's had a good night, he's had to work for everything, puts the first of 2 up and in. He's now up to 15 points. So again, him and Peak have combined for 36 of the 49 points, almost 75% of their offense. No surprise there.
Yeah, this one's short. But on a night where Ewers is held to about 6 points under his average, if I told you that before the tip, you would have thought, boy, Tenora's really got a chance at this game. As a nice stop and pop jumper by Hancock. That will make it look a little more respectable. 49-40, and Peak does the right thing to back this one out, and the Ayersville fans rise to their feet. Bragging rights stay on this side of the river for another year. Ayersville 49, Tinora 40. It's now a 3-game win streak for the Pilots, 9-6 overall, and more importantly, back above 500 in the GMC at 3-2.
Yeah, what an impressive win here at the hangar for the Rams. You knew it wasn't going to be easy here. I mean, for the Pilots, who were really tested there, especially in that opening quarter where they're outscored 8-5. But you could see Coach Wolf and his guys very well prepared. Boy, they made some great in-game adjustments, and they won this one awfully bad. And they pick up a hard-fought win here tonight.
49-40, our final score. We'll start slinging ink. Get your post-game and your Arthur Law Firm Stat Tracker stats ready when we come back. Pilots 49, Rams 40. You're watching DCTV Sports.
WestBanco, building a better bank every day since 1870. Community-focused WestBanco. Find out more at westbanco.com.
Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestill.com.
When a fire or natural disaster throws a penalty flag, let ServiceMaster Restore work for you. Anything from minor cleanups to complete overhaul and rebuilding. Contact ServiceMaster by
Stamball Jewelers is your trusted source for diamonds, fine jewelry, watches, and gifts. Whether you're looking for a dazzling engagement ring, a timeless anniversary gift, or a present for someone special, Stamball Jewelers has something for every occasion. Visit us today and discover why we've been serving the community since 1948.
Back at the hangar, they're buzzing. There is still an energy to this place, and understandably so, as it was a tremendous game between a pair of arch rivals. What is the distance? Maybe 10 miles, if that, between the two schools. I'm thinking maybe a little bit less down Dahmersville Road, but just the same, it was intense from start to finish and a tale of two halves. But in the end, Ayersville, a little too much Jeremiah Peak, a little too much Dane Ewers, and a ton of smothering half-court perimeter defense as they take it to their rivals by a final of 49-40. With the victory, the Pilots now 9-6 overall, and more importantly, a game above 500 at 3-2 in the GMC. The Rams fall to 6-11 and 2-3. Brent Balvinato alongside Scoop Miller. Your post-game show moving on here, and a look at our Arthur Law Firm Stat Tracker stats. If a serious injury from a car crash puts you on the injured list, call the personal injury attorneys at Arthur Law Firm, serving Northwest Ohio for more than 50 years. Get the compensation you deserve and back in the game with your winning team at Arthur Law Firm. Let's run down the point totals first. Scoop has board work and turnovers, leading all players here this evening. Scoring over his average. He comes into this one tonight averaging just over 16.5 points, but Jeremiah Peak took over in the second half. He only had a half a dozen at the intermission. He finishes with 21 on the evening. Dane Ewers, the sophomore standout, averages just under 21 points per ball game. He was held to 6 under that, finishing with 15, but a great job from the free throw line in the closing seconds. 7 points for Owen Lloyd, 5 points for Jackson Stambaugh, whose defense was really the star of the game tonight. 1 point for Dylan Dunn, no bench points. Again, the starters doing all the damage, Scoop.
Well, you're right, and it really came down to the hustle plays that Ayersville was able to make from their defense. They were just relentless. You know, I think both coaches will certainly be proud of the effort and energy that was expended by both teams here tonight. But that Ayersville defense, they forced so many live ball turnovers. A lot of those turnovers end up being points at the other end. More than the difference here when you have a game decided by single digits, which we kind of expected coming in.
On the flip side, for the Rams, Parker Hancock had 7 at the intermission. He had 8 in the second half. He finished with 15. He was the only Ram to even come close to double digits. Josh Lieb had 7. Then it falls off considerably after that. Owen Farrell and Elliott Horn, who fouled out with about 23 seconds left to go in the game, both had a handful. Grant Lymanstall with 4, and Jared Neff 2 for 4 from the charity stripe to finish with a pair. What do you have for board work and turnovers?
Well, for the rebounds, Tinora was able to out-rebound Ayersville 28-25, but
wow,
that stat's kind of misleading, the fact that so many turnovers were forced by Ayersville. There was a lot of less shots taken at the offensive end by the Rams than we saw at the other end by the Pilots. On the turnover side, 16 turnovers by the Rams. And again, most of those were live ball turnovers that led to a lot of those 49 points by that Pilot offense. Meanwhile, Ayersville just 7 turnovers on tonight. So that, to me, was the difference in this contest tonight that goes to the Pilots.
49-40 the score. Up next, let's check out what's on the horizon for both these two teams. And little rest for the weary. They're both suiting up again tomorrow night. For Ayersville, they will be right back here at the hangar. They'll be taking on Pettisville. For Tinora, they will be home at the Emerald. I know you were calling it something else last night. I couldn't quite get it. But they've got Archbold, so things don't get any easier. And look at this. We got Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid coming up here this evening. We only got one headset, so we'll take you one at a time. So who wants to go first? Jeremiah, throw that on. Absolutely. If we could get our camera to pull back a little bit so we could get a wider shot. There we go.
That's the guy we want right
now, this is your best side right here. So mug at that camera down there, but you can look at us every now and then and remember the little people. How's that sound? All right, walk us through this, because this game really turned in the second quarter. Give Tinora credit. They came out, they made it a slow half-court game. and then you only score 5 points in the first 8 minutes. What was the difference in the second quarter? Let's bring you up. There you go. Go ahead.
Came out, felt like I was shooting, like it was normal, but just wasn't going in. I got to work on passing the ball to my teammates, trusting them. I was forcing stuff, but it's all right because came out with a dub.
Shooters got to shoot.
Yep.
But, again, your defense in that second quarter, especially on the perimeter, looked like you brought it out higher, where they were kind of running a little three-man weave.
Yeah.
Their passes weren't contested. Did Coach challenge you to ratchet things up in that second quarter?
Yeah, I think we called a timeout somewhere in there to get us amped up and get our pressure up so we can get the ball and score and outscore them. I think it really started with Jackson, though.
He's a pest,
yes,
isn't he?
Yes,
and we
he
mean
is.
that in a great way.
Yes.
Peace and love, Jackson.
Yes.
Peace and love.
Yes.
But, man, he doesn't just stick to you. He gets in your jersey.
He doesn't stop, which is amazing because he just keeps going. He doesn't want to stop. He wants to annoy you until he turns the ball over.
And he did tonight, Scoop.
And Jeremiah, I thought you guys' defense, especially on Josh Lieb there in that first half, it just seemed that he could not get a touch. He was trying all he could to come off some screens, get open.
Yep.
What was the game plan coming in trying to slow him down?
Game plan was to put Owen or Jackson on him and annoy him. Like you said, he's a pest. Just annoy him, make sure he doesn't touch the ball, and annoy him early so he doesn't get going later.
All right, so talk to me a little bit about this. This was something that I had done from the Fairview game. I asked Coach before you guys tipped off tonight, is there a line of demarcation? Is there a game where maybe you felt things started to swing? That Fairview game was intense. It wasn't like one team took over. The score was maybe a little lopsided because you were able to salt it away from the free throw line, but that was a high level of play. As a matter of fact, that's their only loss in conference play is to you guys right now. Prior to that game, you guys were giving up 64 points per contest. After Fairview, 54. What's been the difference? Have you hung your hat on it? Have you guys focused more on playing defense?
We've just been focused on playing fast at our own pace and not the other opponent's pace. Because in years prior, we've been playing at their pace instead of our pace. So we want to slow it down on the, slow them down on the defensive end, but speed them up at the same time. It's like a concept.
Take their time, not yours,
Yep.
right? You can quote that, but just give me some credit,
Gotcha.
would you? Congratulations, winner. Good job to you.
Great game. Congrats.
All right, it's not track season yet, but the baton has been handed over. Dane Ewers joining us. My goodness. Again, a little bit of a slow start. What led to you guys kind of catching your rhythm and catching fire, in your opinion?
Coach just said that.
Pull that mic up a little bit closer to your face. There you go.
Coach just said that we had a slow start, but we'll come out hot, firing in the second quarter. We hit our shots early on, and Jeremiah started hitting, Owen started hitting some shots, and we all just started getting going, and our defense just locked up from after the first quarter and on.
Scoop and I talked about it. I think it might have been your first shot came with maybe 2 minutes left in that first quarter. You didn't rush it. You didn't hunt. I know, again, I'm going back to that Fairview game, but Coach Wolfram said, don't hunt shots. Let the offense come to you. It sounds like you've taken that to heart.
Yeah. Coach doesn't want me to. He wants the game to come to me. He wants me to shoot the ball and get the ball in my hands. But if it's not there, he wants me to swing and get a better shot. And we had the better shots. We just weren't hitting the first quarter, and then we started hitting, and it opened up once other teammates started hitting shots.
Well, Dane, you've been a part of this rivalry a long time, and you knew Tinora was going to come out, throw their best punches at you. And credit the Rams. They're up 8-5 after 8 minutes. But you talked a little bit about what Coach Wolfram maybe said at the break. But your defense really created your offense. I thought that was your best offense tonight. What really was that turning point that got you guys just playing at a whole other level in that second quarter?
We've just been practicing all week. They told us that they don't handle pressure very well, and I thought they handled it decent tonight, but it was enough for us to pressure them up all the way and get in our press, and they just sped up and took quick shots, and that's what Coach wanted.
I was going to say, the press, if you don't get the steal, still can pay dividends if you rush the opposition. They're not – could you tell they weren't quite feeling as comfortable as they were in that first quarter?
Yeah, just the skip. Even Coach says that the skip passes aren't comfortable passes, and even if they skip the diagonal pass over our press, which is open, we leave that open. For them to do that, and we have a dude back to stop him, it's just a quick layup or a quick shot, and we'll live with that every time that I'm getting set up in an offense. And getting a three that they want.
Listen to these guys. They sound like future coaches, Scoop.
Oh, you're right.
Man, this is basketball IQ here, gentlemen.
And I'm going to test the IQ a little bit more because, I'm really impressed. I love watching you guys play. I think you've got both, not just you guys, you got a team that's got a lot of talent, but I really was impressed day and night that, when people see the scorebook or whatever, they read that, Dane only had 15 points, he must have had an off night. I would say anything but the contrary because, a lot of times I see guys that are scoring 20-plus points a game, and then they start forcing things. Mm-hmm. They don't let the game come to you. I thought you did a great job, even though you only had one shot that first quarter. I thought you distributed the ball very well. You felt the pressure. You had some guys make some good backdoor cuts and good rim runs. What was about the passing tonight that really got things going for you guys?
Most of the time, it's me or Jay that are focused for defenses, and they had Josh Lieb. He's just a big boy, and I can't do my job inside, so I spread it out. And if I want to take my shots and get my buckets, then I got to get my teammates their buckets first, and that's how it opens up for everyone to get in the lane.
Big win tonight. You're back on this court again tomorrow night. So what's the post-game ritual? You're going to have some dinner. You're going to get to bed early, eat all your vegetables, say your prayers before you hit the pillow, right?
Yep. Going to beat up, go to B-Dubs, then hit the hay and come in early in the morning, get some shots up, get ready to go.
I'm looking over at Jeremiah here. You got the dubs, so you're going to B-Dubs. All right, so what's the sauce? Are you guys like spicy or are you mild?
I'm like a buffalo barbecue mix. I mix them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Jeremiah, how about you? Same thing. Wow, great minds think alike, right?
There you go.
All right, gentlemen, we won't keep you. Enjoy the dinner, and good luck tomorrow night. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Nice job.
Congrats, guys.
Again, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid here this evening. Wig 1-2 punch. We're going to take a quick timeout. Back with more of our postgame right after this. You're watching DCTV Sports.
Stanball Jewelers is your trusted source for diamonds, fine jewelry, watches, and gifts. Whether you're looking for a dazzling engagement ring, a timeless anniversary gift, or a present for someone special, Stanball Jewelers has something for every occasion. Visit us today and discover why we've been serving the community since 1948.
At Arthur Law Firm, we understand how overwhelming life can be after being seriously injured in a car accident. With over 50 years of experience, Arthur Law Firm has a track record of getting the results you deserve. When you don't know where to turn, get answers with Arthur. Call.
Discover affordable transfer opportunities at Northwest State.
Start here and save thousands on tuition.
Our advising team will help you get your credits transferred.
So don't wait another minute. Get started today.
Stanball Jewelers is your trusted source for diamonds, fine jewelry, watches, and gifts. Whether you're looking for a dazzling engagement ring, a timeless anniversary gift, or a present for someone special, Stanball Jewelers has something for every occasion. Visit us today and discover why we've been serving the community since 1948. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestill.com.
West Banco, building a better bank every day since 1870. Community-focused West Banco. Find out more at westbanco.com.
Back at the hangar. Man, when was the last time we had this much energy and this many people still buzzing around after a ball game? Look, you get the arch rival in town and a game that lives up to the hype. It was 6 days of hype for 4 quarters of truth. And Coach Wolfram joining us right now, and the truth ends up as a final of 49-40. First things first, I know you're going to tip your cap to the Rams. They came out and really punched you in the mouth to open up this game. You only have 5 points on the scoreboard at the end of the first 8 minutes. What was the difference from there on out in your opinion?
Yeah, I mean, I think that first quarter, we came out, we were in our press, and then they got some easy ones off the press. They were breaking the press pretty easily. And then we just let them be way too comfortable. They were passing it around, they were running their sets, they were running their circle motion, and when you can run it effectively without kind of just hanging out, our guys weren't really pressuring, except we were pressuring Lieb a little bit. It gets them a little bit comfortable, lets them hit a couple shots, and then they get some more confidence under their belt. So going into that second quarter, we stressed big time where we need to start pressuring. Okay, I don't care if we foul. We need to start getting up in them and start making them uncomfortable. And I think that second quarter they had 7 turnovers.
Yep.
So I thought we did a really good job of that. We got some ticky-tack fouls, which they were fouls, but they were aggressive fouls and they were hard fouls where I was fine with them because we are being the aggressor rather than in that first half we were just kind of laid back and hanging out, which I didn't like. I didn't like how that looked.
Well, you hit the nail on the head because just one turnover by the Rams in the opening 8 minutes, but all of a sudden your pressure, well, you guys were just relentless. And I was wondering what was said in that quarter because it really flipped the switch. You could see the guys were out there. Hey, we might foul, but we're gonna get in their grill there a little bit. We're gonna make them earn anything, and that really turned the basketball game around, I thought.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, again, it just goes back. They were way too comfortable in that first quarter, and if we continued to play like that, it would have been a long night, and it would have been even lower scoring than it was. So we had to get up in them a little bit, change our press a little bit, and just be a little bit more aggressive on the defensive end.
Two things, and you sent up Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, as I'm referring to him, but Jeremiah and Dane, and they scored in two different manners tonight. Jeremiah, the lid was on the basket for those first 8 minutes, but you and I have talked about it. Shooters got to shoot. You have to believe the next one is going in as long as it's within the framework of your offense. And you had kind of hounded him, especially post-Fairview, maybe getting out of the habit of not letting the game come to him, but maybe trying to force it. On the flip side, we had Dane taking his first shot from the floor with barely 2 minutes left to go in the first quarter. He didn't hunt. They both finish in double figures, as you're used to, but can you talk about the difference in the two mindsets and how it still played out positively for both tonight?
Yeah. I mean, I thought Jeremiah early, I mean, both Jeremiah and Dane early were pretty passive, where Jeremiah really started to try to get downhill, and we saw some opportunities for him to either get a post up or score down low. I think he was about 3 of 11 that first half, and then came out and kind of answered the bell in the second half. And then Dane almost completely opposite, where he's typically downhill. He had to hit some jumpers tonight because Lieb's a great defender. He was doing a good job, and Dane couldn't get downhill as he could usually. So I thought both of them did a really good job continuing to shoot the ball within the offense. Last year, both of them at halftime could have potentially faded away a little bit, but I think they're growing up a little bit more. I really like the leadership out of both of them tonight.
And Coach, I thought you guys really played an intelligent basketball game. You made some great in-game adjustments. I thought we could see it out there, the intensity change, some of the defense adjustments you made, the offensive adjustments you talked about. But talk about some of those maybe role players, so to speak, that you guys just seem to be relentless for 32 minutes. A lot of times you expend so much energy, you end up maybe taking some plays off down the road. It just never seemed to happen. I thought you guys played a complete 32 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, that's a credit to our guys, obviously. I put some pressure on them in the second quarter to, hey, we got to be the aggressor. We got to get up and guard. And you could see it on their faces. Dane was about to fall over. He was so tired. Jackson was getting winded.
Jackson, we affectionately nicknamed him the Pest tonight. He wasn't just sticky. He was in your jersey.
Oh, yeah.
And it takes a certain mindset to want to play at that end, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, Jackson does an absolute phenomenal job. He knows his role. He's getting better and better at his role throughout the year. He's a kid. If he was on the other team, I would hate him. I would. Because he is a pest. But I love the kid. I love that he's on our team. And he really changed the complexity of the game in the fourth quarter. It was a 6-point game, and he got a foul there, but it was an extremely aggressive foul. And then they take it out, and they have some miscommunication. He gets a layup. And then later on, he gets another steal, and that puts us up a little bit more. So every team needs it, and he's excelled at his role, and he's done a great job. And then Caden Brewer coming off the bench did a good job. Evan, we're trying to get to that pest mentality, which he's doing a good job. And then we brought Grady. But I thought Owen Lloyd had a really good game for us as well. Shot the ball well, missed some shots, but he's shooting with confidence, and he took the shots that he should have. So I thought he played well as well.
And I thought you guys really learned a lot, too, as this game kind of went on. I mean, very physical game, as I don't need to tell you that. You saw that down there from the front row, but your kids adjusted very well. But you kind of talked about some of those turnovers on the inbounds play. Those are plays that don't happen for you if you don't continue to play. You put that out there. And the last thing I just want to mention is, I thought that the sweat difference between your first quarter, second, third, and fourth, and I think that's what the guys got to realize.
Yep.
Look, hey, the harder we play, the better we perform, and you guys are really connected all night.
Yep. I mean, that first quarter, if we would have kept playing like that, it was going to be a low-scoring game, and they probably would have came up on top. So we had to change something. I think our guys answered the bell and did a great job of it.
All right, the guys said they're going to celebrate tonight, but they better get to bed early because you are right back here tomorrow night against Pettisville.
Yep.
No rest for the weary. How do you handle such a quick turnaround?
Yeah, I always say they're high school kids. I give them crap all the time about that. I'm like, you guys are high school kids. You could play 5 games in a row. But tomorrow's going to be a tough one. Pettisville is one of the top teams in the BBC. They have one of the best players in the area with Leppenmeyer. I really enjoy watching his game. He's a great, great basketball player. But their role guys do a really good job within their roles, whatever their roles on the team is. So it's going to be a battle. It's going to be another intense battle like this. So it's going to be a fun one for us. But we just got to continue to keep building, keep playing, and try to get to our best basketball by the end of the season.
Enjoy it for at least a few hours tonight, will you?
Yeah, I'll try.
All right, congratulations to you. They
Thank
beat
you.
that team
Congrats,
across the river here this evening by a final of 49-40. Pilots now overall 9-6, but more importantly in the GMC, back above 500 at 3-2 as they host Pettisville tomorrow night. That's going to do it for our broadcast here this evening. Again, for Scoop Miller and our entire crew, more than yeoman's work here this evening. Final score, that team across the river. This time it's Ayersville knocking off Tinora 49-40. I'm Brent Balbinot, thanking our sponsors for helping make the broadcast a possibility. And as always, you the fan for tuning in. We'll talk to you next week. You've been watching a presentation of DCTV.